Late October in Texas. You know, the weather is kind of getting cool and, uh, crisp. Halloween coming up. Kind of reminds me the winter will be here before too long. But for most aviators here in Texas and probably Louisiana, Arkansas, probably a 5-state area, maybe even more than that, late October in Texas can only mean one thing, and that's the Reklaw fly-in. Now, I haven't been to Reklaw in, oh, good gravy, let's see, when was it? 2008, 2009, something like that. So it's been a while. So anyway, I thought, well, my buddy Hiram called and he said, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to spend all weekend. Why don't you come down? So I had my grandson, and I thought, well, we'll just twist off and get up bright and early Saturday morning, and we did, and headed to Reklaw. It's about a 3-hour drive, with all the construction and all that baloney happening. About 3 hours from my house in Burleson, Texas. So anyway, we got up at 4 a.m., showered, and took off and got us some coffee and headed out. Spent the day at Reklaw. Man, when we got there, it was probably 10 degrees colder. We got out of the truck, I guess it was 8 o'clock or just shortly thereafter. Got out of the truck and it was probably a full 12 degrees colder there in Reklaw than here in the Metroplex. And, one of the indicators that things are different in East Texas is the fog. I mean, there was fog everywhere as the sun was coming up. It was really beautiful, as a matter of fact. Getting into the pine woods and that fog hanging over the low-lying areas. Pretty neat. But anyway, I had hoped that maybe the owner of this airplane, this is the Tweety Bird, the yellow bird, the first airplane I built, I was hoping that he would have it at the fly-in. I think he had it there in 2008, maybe 2009. There's some YouTube video of it on the internet. You can look that up. But I was hoping this would be there and, I could reunite with the old airplane. And of course, as luck would have it, he didn't show up. But other than that one little disappointment, Reklaw was Reklaw. It was just great. We spent half the morning looking at airplanes and then found us a advantageous spot on the side of the runway. Put our lawn chairs out and sat there and watched people making flybys. And of course, getting reacquainted with old friends that happened to walk past. So it was a good time. And, every time I think about Reklaw, I think, well, I'm going to take the old tent and spend the whole weekend at Reklaw. But then, you get there and it's colder than I don't know what. Dew so thick that if you pitched a tent in low-lying area, the dew would actually float your tent and float you down the runway, probably a quarter of a mile. That dew is thick, but it burns off fast. It's a phenomenon that was really surprising to my grandson. I don't think he'd ever seen anything like that. So anyway, this video is some footage I took of some of the airplanes and some of the flybys that we got to witness and enjoy as we spent Saturday at Reklaw, Texas, the Reklaw fly-in. 30th anniversary.
What is up, guys? It is me, Pugsley from Pug Nation, and today I am in Reklaw, Texas, with none other than my grandfather, Dwayne Marcus. And today we are looking at a PE Hall camper.
Saturday morning we drove in, we didn't fly in. We're here pretty early too. It's chilly out here. This is a Super Cruiser. It's a neat looking little airplane.
Kind of like you're already there, but
Carbon Cub, light sport. It's a pretty airplane. J3 Cub. I think it's got a Continental 0200 engine in it. And the reason why I think that is it's a lot bigger than a Continental 65, and it's got a oil filter hanging out the other side of the cowling.
here we are.
Looks like a 108-2
Very, very nice.
Stinson.
And there will be plenty more to look at.
There's a lot of these Stinsons out here, several -3s.
Other fantastic. So, good old look at this airplane.
We have a real pretty Veronka Champ.
Paint over here. Lots of detail. Always a beautiful thing. Nice wingspan. When do you think this airplane was born into existence?
Probably about 1946.
1946.
PA-12. It's a pretty little airplane. Little Luscombe.
Huh?
Little Luscombe. 41.
That's what the data plate says anyway.
1941 clip wing J3.
There's a serial number on a plate welded to one of the fuselage tubes on a Cub. So a lot of times you can get back there and find that thing and tell if it's a real Cub. Like, I'm not going to name any names, and I don't know how they got away with this, but I knew a guy that had a Cub, and
I don't know what it got down to last night, but it was cold. I was sitting there in my tent sort of, holy crap.
It's about that size.
A Howard DG8.
Piper Apache. It's a good looking airplane too. Much better looking than most Apaches out there. That's a handsome grandson there too. Here we have a PT-19. Gorgeous looking little airplane. I flew one of those. I probably got 15 hours in one of those. You know what it was? It was back when I was a kid. It was a Cox PT-19 control line. That's what I learned to fly a control line on. Oh man, that's cool.
It was longer in the pattern than it was flying over.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's a good video to be found.
Sure is. It's a Navy N2S4 Stearman. It's a Stearman.
Got a dual wing thing going on. The biplane.
It's Got retractable landing gear too.
Yeah, retractable landing gear. You can see all that down there.
Beechcraft stagger wing.
Yeah. Very
Beautiful airplane.
heard that. What?
Beechcraft.
Beechcraft stagger wing. Look at how beautiful this creature is. Here, and this is all I actually wanted to show.
The mouse in his mouth. It's like an 01 bird dog, maybe another designation with big tires. Oh man, out of all of the Cessnas, this is the one that just, I always loved the old bird dog.
Got to spin 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 43 seconds. What's yours got?
I don't know. Ryan PT-22. And look at that landing gear. I have had the opportunity to fly one of these, and they are fine little airplanes. Don't believe everything you hear about them being nasty and snap rolling and screwing you in the ground. They are good little airplanes.
Alright, I'm done.
Beech T-34. It's a T6, they called it a Texan, some called it a Harvard. There were all kinds of names for it. What a beautiful little, it's a little J5A. I mean, it's not a show plane, but boy, it's a pretty little airplane. Ha! Too cute. Pittsburgh Connie, Malanka. Look at this.
A while ago, a guy
Yeah, I know that airplane. Old milk steamer. I've always loved the looks of that thing. Those cardboard counties, we call them. Now, we've seen this airplane somewhere before. Anything more pretty than a gull wing stencil? Man, it's beautiful.